Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Masterworks. Good evening, Susan. My name's Jason Meyer, and tonight we're going to be looking at Emil Carlsen and one by Dines Carsen, Emil's son. So, if you haven't figured it out by now, we've moved our Masterworks till 7 in the evening, up from 8 o'clock, and this will be the last Masterworks of this week. We're doing Masterworks Monday and Wednesdays, and then on Facebook's at 7 o'clock, Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays we have Sketch Club. 8 in the morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday here on YouTube, we have Morning Jumpstart, some student feedback for students. So you can check that out too if you like. Well, I got a few paintings lined up, so why don't we get started and we can see how many we get through tonight. So as I said, this is Emil Carlsen. And for me, some of his tones are just, well, you can kind of witness it yourself. The values are pretty close. So it makes for a very, very harmonious painting. Very harmonious painting. Do you see how the shoulder of the glass, we'll call it a jug, I don't know what it is, but runs on the one side, it almost disappears into the background, and on the other side it's a stark contrast. So we go right through here, and we've got nice strong contrast there. And Cindy Myers keeping an eye on everything for us. So this is, well, this is one place where you can really see them shine. Look how close all of that is. So we have a white on white on white on white on white with a piece of silver and a little bit of a dark top. It's a lot of white. Look at those little subtle changes. Look how quiet this is down here. I was always kind of magically drawn to these. Never quite understood why. But just the subtlety of tone, the beautiful warm cool. And at the same time, he's got the vibration of the color happening. So even though everything's so close, you see everything holds separate, holds its own ground. Gotta have the right order. something about all these grays. In one sense it looks very dull, but in another sense it looks very, very alive. Look at the difference between the side and the top plane. Did you look closely at some of this over here or some of this here? You know, that's what's responsible for this being so solid. Look at that craziness. Look at that craziness. It was crazy over here too. So there's not, everything's a little bit broken up, and then where you have big solid flat that carries very strongly. Very strong. Right? Even having this gray relatively flat gives it strength. Look how the dark on the fish is just a tad more than the, what is that, a kettle there? Iron kettle. And so it helps push that back. So delicate yet not precious. Not precious. So a lot of times artists will study fish for exactly, or have fish in the setup for exactly what we were talking about, how the highlights can give away the surface quality, right? So the artist will use the fish as a different kind of surface from the fabric on the table, or the metal of the pot, or the grapes or the olives. This is an artist sometimes I have a hard time talking about. I still have a hard time putting my finger on exactly what it is, but it's just, I think, his beautiful harmony. So we've got our yellows and some greens, some reds, umbers, looks like black, and look, we've got our yellow, green, umber repeated down here. Look at this gray green here. So there's hardly any color at all in here, but there's a lot of life. Where's the only color? You get a little sense of yellow, gold. It's mostly white though. It's mostly white, gray, and dark. Just a little bit of color. So luckily this is a pretty big file, and we're going to get to stick our nose in this one in just a second. But first, just take it in. Do you like it? Do you not? If you do, why? If you don't, why? What do you see? How does it feel? We've been doing clouds and sketch club this week, so thought we had to get some clouds. Looks like somebody's ready for a vacation. The clouds and boats are very relaxing. Hey, Claudia. Yeah, it's kind of got a laid back, it's an open feeling. See how big the sky is? Gives a very openness. And look at the difference between the edges of the boats and even the edge of the water and the sand versus the sky. Right? A huge contrast. A huge contrast. What do you say we dive into this one just a little bit? See the slight changes here? A little greener, a little bluer, a little more purple, some red in there. Yeah, lavender. So Claudia likes the lavender by the horizon. Right there, huh? But notice it's speckled with that yellow. Right, just to modify, just a little modify. Speckled with the yellow, speckled. Now this isn't bright yellow, just the warmth. Warm, cool, warm, cool. See how we've got like a yellow and then a green. So there's a lot of control here, even on these boats. And then a little weaker, and then go back. Look, he's repeated this right here. And how has he softened this boat up? Well, look at this edge. And this edge reminds us a lot of Karen's work this morning, right? Catch each edge, and then a little bit open in the middle. These negative shapes are very important. But look at this mess. How much fun is this? Again, so the difference, just the difference in quality and how it's painted. The sky, the clouds, versus like the boat and the beach and the water. Right? You can almost feel the difference. Before we leave this, can you guys see how much darker we're up towards the top than we are here? Quite a bit. And then those, even the white clouds climax here in the middle, right? Not here, not as much up there. Susan says, it feels airy and northerly cool to me. Very serene and active at the same time. Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. You know, that airiness. I think, you know, I don't know, but in my opinion, kind of the harshness of the lines and stuff down lends to that coldness, right? And the inactivity of those lines. But then you get into the sky and it's very active, like Claudia was saying. Airy, as Susan put it. Yeah. Cool. Ooh, I don't like being cold. Let's go. Let's go. But this is just, what a wonderful study in contrast here. So we were looking all at Emil Carlsen before, and now this is his son Dines Carsen. I love the richness of this one. I just really love this to me is just so rich. Right? He's got a lot of dark in there, but it doesn't feel heavy at the same time. Right? A little bit shadow, but not too much. I love that reflection. And the beautiful background, yeah. The backgrounds, I love these backgrounds. And the reflections we were talking about, hard edges. Right? And making a highlight, making a surface. So you can look at that edge versus that highlight. Right? And then this highlight. So that's what's going to tell you the surface. And then, talk about openness. How much more open can we get here? And then ever so slightly, that pattern emerges in the background. Right? Just to slip off again before too long. Just emerges for a second, then slips back into that nothingness. I'll tell you guys a little secret. I go absolutely bonkers for surfaces like this. These just, they put me over the moon. I just love them. It's just like, I don't know, just layers and layers of different paint, and this way and that way. And then that they can do it and just at just the right amount. At just the right amount. Look how gray that light is, right? Almost, it feels dusty, doesn't it? It feels a little dusty to me almost. Worn. I knew what you meant, Susan. I knew what you meant. Can you see the artist? That looks like a side of an easel to me. That looks like somebody painting to me. Is that North Light windows up there? Oof, oof, oof. Claudia says it's almost as if it was painted and sanded off. It very well might have. Although I can clearly see the weave of the canvas here. So who knows? Who knows? These painters, they'll do anything. They'll sand them. They'll scrape them. But it's got under layers and then a lot of dry brushing too. Over the top. Look at how many colors he snuck in. Look at how many colors he snuck in right here. Right? Not cad red, not phthalo green. Just a little bit. A little bit. A little blue on top of all this yellow. Some blue, some blue, some blue. The background. So Claudia was talking about the background. Yeah, it kind of looks like that, but it also looks like he may have just scraped it off with a palette knife too. But I guarantee you that's more than one layer there. That's one more layer. But how absolute, I don't know. For me, this is just fantastic. I could spend an afternoon or a week or two just on this little piece of the painting right here. You know, what a journey, the in and the out. You keep making us aware of complementary colors. It's sounds like I'm in trouble. Well, that kind of complementary colors and the paint spots take kind of a flat surface, a flat, dead, single tone surface, and literally makes it vibrate. Just makes it vibrate. Yeah. But they're always grayed off a lot more than you think. Great. Yum. Claudia says yum. Yeah, I agree. I just, and then this look at this highlight. And notice too, as we get around this, we don't have a lot of this inner, because we want to make sure that we clearly can make this out. So we go for a little rest, and then after we get off of that a little bit, then that background, right? The parents have got to leave the driveway and drive down the street around the corner before the kids start to party. That's what's happening there. That's what's happening there. Well, let's back up here. Let's back up. Let's just look at black and white for a minute, and then I think we'll finish the evening going back to the color. But can you see one of the things that makes this fascinating? Let's get disoriented here. Let's get a little disoriented here. The nature of this edge, right? Let's just talk in pure paint. Look at this edge, the sharpness of this edge versus this soft edge. Soft, and then back to that hard edge. Right? Look at the edge there, and then how it just dissipates down. Right? So such a variety of edges. And look how softly he ends the dark over here in the back. You see, he doesn't let it go all, that would just probably be a little too heavy. But instead that dark comes, runs down here, and then with the cast shadow, and that'll be that. Compare these edges, the dark meeting the light meeting the dark, with the bottom edges, right? The active versus the passive, the hard versus the soft. Yum, yum, yum indeed. So if there's any last questions or whatever, we'll hang around about a minute or two to let them come in. But I think this is just a beautiful, and to me a very peaceful piece. And why don't we just end the night on some beauty and peace? A little beauty and peace. All right. The depth of mystery. This one kind of feels like ancient wisdom to me. I don't know why, I just get that sense. All right, like the wisdom of the sages can be found in that room. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Lovely way to end an evening. I think so too. It's important. It's up. I'm up for beauty and peace. Yeah, I think that's what brings us together. The love of beauty. the love of beauty. All right, you beautiful people. So I hope all of you guys stay beautiful, stay creative, stay peaceful. We'll be back tomorrow morning for some morning jump start, student feedback, get you launched into the studio for the day. And then tomorrow night will be Facebook Sketch Club at 7 o'clock at the Meyer Studio page on Facebook. And we're going to end the week with a little Friday class. And then we will be back next week. So if we don't catch you in the morning, we hope to see you back here very soon. Bye everybody. Thank you.